It's tough because we only see the end result. If you look at every one of my pictures that I post, I have this big smile. You can see it in my eyes. I feel powerful as hell. I got my arms crossed. I got my biceps flexing. I'm feeling good. But you didn't see me at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery here on a Tuesday. Thank you for joining me today. I had every intention. I got to tell you this. I had every intention of coming in here yesterday and getting this taken care of. That's how I like to start my mornings, by especially my Monday mornings, by making sure that I have this routine, right? And Mindset Mastery has been a routine for me for many, many years now, where I have to not only be here for myself, but I know a lot of you depend on this to kind of just remind you of the things you already know, to get that fire lit, to get that spark going, right? So you can dominate your week. Oftentimes when we come from a nice weekend, or whether it's a good one or a bad one, there's this anticipation, this anxiety, this like resistance, right? Nervousness about what's to come for the week ahead. And I think if we just really break it down and say, hey, it's just a simple process of getting the work done, and we will be able to achieve anything we want for the week. But I had every intention. As a matter of fact, yesterday morning, woke up extra early. I was up at 4. I usually wake up around 4:30. I was up like at 4 o'clock, and I knew it was a big day ahead. I'm part of this, the Do the Work Challenge, as you know, and yesterday was leg day. So I was looking forward to it. You know, one of those things where I used to hate leg day. I would do it like once a month. And now I sometimes we end up doing it twice a week. And I've grown very fond of it. I enjoy the challenge that it presents me. I know it's going to be the hardest workout of the week. And if I could accomplish that on a Monday, I'm going to kick ass for the rest of the week. That's my mindset now, right? So I'm going to kick ass. It's a leg day. It falls on a Monday. All right, I'm gonna go out there and I'm going to hit it hard. And I get ready in the morning. As a matter of fact, I set up all my clothes the night before. And I pulled out my Asics, like these traditional Asics. They're like the old school Asics shoes, okay? I usually wear these fancy Nikes, but I was really feeling it, thinking, okay, I'm going to go really heavy tomorrow. I'm gonna go all out. One thing about the Asics shoes is that they're really flat. So it works very well with my feet, right? I have just a traditional high arcing foot. So a flat shoe really helps with my deadlifts. It really helps with my squats. So I bust these things out, right? These are the old school Asics. And I'm feeling really good. I get there about 15 minutes before anybody else. And I have a crew of about 7 to 8 people at any given day, right? That show up at the gym with me. So I'm there 15 minutes early. I'm stretching. I'm doing the whole, like almost yoga type of stretches, going from side to side. There's this bar there that you can stretch all the different muscles in your body. So I'm going through that process. So by the time the guys get there, I'm warmed up. I'm ready to go. And the first workout calls for lunges. I'm like, all right, I can handle this. And lunges used to be my arch nemesis. Like, I don't know about you guys, especially you men. I know none of you like these lunges, right? It just seems like legs should not be a priority. But lunges was the first thing. And we had to superset that. So we were doing lunges. So we had to go 15 steps out and 15 steps back, right? I was carrying 30 pounds. So it's nothing that was out of the ordinary. 30 pounds is, within my realm. I can go up to 40, 45, sometimes 50. But in this case, we're barely warming up. So I grab the 30s and I'm doing my lunges, 15 up and I'm coming back and I like tweak my back. And it was the weirdest thing because I was feeling so strong that I picked up the pace. And somewhere along the lines of picking up the pace and not watching my form, I tweaked my back. And I was like, what just happened here? I'm not even lifting heavy. I'm feeling powerful. My mind is right. This is a great workout. And I tweaked my back in the first workout of my morning. And so I immediately stop. And I go back to the stretching machines thinking I can work this little kink out, right? Have you ever tried that? Where you're like, oh, yeah, it's nothing. I'm going to work this out. Sure enough, the intensity of the pain started getting more. And anytime I made a sudden move or even a move, any type of move, it would send like this little shock wave up my spine. And that's how I'm feeling right now. Even if I put too much pressure on my left side, I feel like there's this shock, this nerve ending that's sending a, signal to my brain on the left side. So I immediately stop and I'm like, okay, maybe I just can't do lunges. I'll just go to the next exercise. Well, the next exercise calls for like squats. So I do an air squat, okay, an air squat with no weight. And again, the shooting pain comes up. I'm like, dude, I'm done for the day. And I stuck around for about 10, 15 minutes because I just didn't feel like leaving. I felt like, okay, it was just a kink. It'll work its way out. And it hasn't. It hasn't. And yesterday, what I thought, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you think something's going to go so good and it goes completely the opposite? And it may go for a listing appointment where you're so excited, you did all this prep work, right? It is the best presentation you ever did, only to find out you don't get it. And it could be devastating in those moments, right? Or you have every inclination of having a good date night with your spouse, but you end up like arguing. And it just ruins the entire night, right? It leaves you like kind of baffled and confused. I've done that. Carla and I have done that where we're anticipating this trip. And on our way over there, we get so frustrated with each other that it's like the whole weekend is ruined. And we've been in these situations and we ask ourselves, I did everything right. And I remember I came home and I'm like talking to Carla and she's really good with being able to like take care of her body, of knowing how to stretch, how to massage. So we got thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, if I'm correct, in different massage, machines and just different things that we have around the house to help, recover. Carla's really good about recovery. So we go through the whole gamut. She's working my back out. I'm rolling. I'm stretching. I'm taking some Tylenol. And I said that unknowingly. It was at top of mind. I said, I don't get it. I was doing everything right. And as soon as I said that, I was like, what am I thinking here? When we say things like that, I don't get it. I was doing everything right. I presented the best. I don't get it. It's like we're victimizing ourselves and thinking that there is zero room for improvement. Understand that when you say something like that, when you get devastated by by something that didn't go your way and you sum it all up by saying, I did everything right, you're essentially saying that you reached the epitome of what you can create. You reached the epitome of skill set and mindset. You reached the epitome of problem solving and coming up with solutions, right? And that's what I said. I couldn't believe those words actually came out of my mouth. As soon as I said it, I was like, what the hell am I thinking? Because I acted like a victim in that case. I did everything right. I don't understand how I got injured. But if I really start analyzing the steps that I took to end up in that position, it is obvious I didn't do everything right. And sometimes it may seem that you may never find out what you did wrong, right? In order to not get that buyer to work with you, in order to not get that, that seller to list with you. You may never know. But at the same time, we cannot allow that to devastate our progression. You see, the reason I was feeling so off my game, or the reason I was feeling so defeated, is because I know what it feels like to be optimized. I know how to take care of my body where I can wake up, get my stuff done in the gym, and kill the day without any hesitation. But it seems like I was hesitating on everything yesterday. When I would get up from my chair, it was like, I would be reminded my back hurts. I can no longer concentrate on my business. I can no longer concentrate on the things that I have to accomplish because I'm constantly thinking about this nagging pain. And the reason being is I know what it feels like to be optimized. Now, here's the flip side to that. There's people that have no idea how to feel optimized. They just think the way they feel on a daily basis is normal. They think feeling lethargic is normal. They think that feeling unmotivated, with no real intention, lazy, they think that is normal because they haven't taken the steps or the measures to understanding what it feels to be optimized. And feeling optimized takes a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment. It's tough. And people will ask me, AZ, you're always smiling first thing in the morning. Well, you didn't see me when the alarm went off. You didn't see like the anguish on my face. You didn't see the frustration, the wanting to just rest. You didn't see all those things. You only saw the bright smile after I killed it in the gym. And people think that you automatically feel that, optimized first thing in the morning when you don't. It takes a lot of hard work, and a lot of people don't get that to build a business. You may be smiling and having all these vacations. You may be witness to others doing that, and you're like, look how happy they look. But you have no idea the anguish, the frustration, hitting the point of burnout and boredom. It's tough because we only see the end result. If you look at every one of my pictures that I post, I have this big smile. You can see it in my eyes. I feel powerful as hell. I got my arms crossed. I got my biceps flexing. I'm feeling good. But you didn't see me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Pissed off, like, what the hell am I doing? Again. Why can't I just rest? Like a chip on my shoulder, just really angry. And tired and frustrated. The very same things everybody goes through. The only difference is I push through it. And by pushing through every single day, I understand what it feels to be optimized. So whenever I do get little kinks on my back and I can't accomplish everything that I'm doing, I'm like, holy shit, this is a red flag. Because I'm not used to feeling this way anymore. I'm not. There was a time where I didn't optimize my body, where I was drinking way too much, where I was staying up way too late, where I was stressed out of my mind trying to accomplish everything on my own as opposed to getting the right personnel and people and systems to allow me to grow this business. I wasn't optimized, but I didn't know any better. I had no idea. I had no clue. But now I know. So when I get a little kink like this, I'm like, holy cow, like what the hell? But I've also grown enough capacity. I put in enough work, enough reps over the years that I can get even through that. I couldn't make it into the office yesterday. I just couldn't. I was in too much pain. Getting in and out of my car was a pain in the ass this morning. Yesterday, I didn't even want to attempt it. The pain was too sharp. Now, if I didn't build my body to be the way it is, now some may say, see, well, that's why I don't work out, AZ. You just injured yourself. No, what they don't get is like how powerful I feel regardless. I'm still getting shit done even though there's a sharp pain in my back. I still get things done even though my Carla and I are not getting along the greatest. Because I allow myself not to be anchored down by all these nagging issues, these problems that come up at home, because I know that I am going to resolve them. It's not the end of the world. But when you leave yourself in a position where you don't resolve these anchors, it just drags you down. You have no idea what it feels like to be optimized. And at the end of the day, all these anchors are holding you back. I mean, what I had yesterday, I think it would have taken down most people. They would have shut down their entire business. They would have sat there and just felt sorry for themselves. Not to say it didn't cross my mind. I was more pissed off than anything. But I still had an effective day. The way I wanted to get there wasn't in mind, right? I wanted to go out there and kill it in my leg day and dominate the day. Well, it happened a different way. There was a little pause, a little detour that I had to take. I had to take a few steps back. Then I killed it. Then I got shit done. Because I decided to invest in myself. And that's something we're going to talk about on our sales meetings this week. We have 2 scheduled this week. And it's investing in myself that got me through this. Not to say it's like this big horrific accident or anything like that. No, but it's the little things that typically throw off small business owners. It's the little argument that you hold on to that completely throws off your day. It's the little thing that your client told you that all of a sudden now you're questioning everything about your business. You haven't built the reps, you haven't built the capacity, and you have thin skin, right? They say those that are players have thick skin. But if we start looking at our behaviors, we're like, man, anything can throw me off. You're flailing in the wind. So it's understanding that, not everything's going to go your way. But the end game has always has to be on the forefront of your thought process. I was going to have a great day. There were certain tasks that I needed taken care of. Now, did I finish everything? No, I didn't finish the less important tasks. But I finished the most important because I prioritized them. And what I did is I just reinforced the behavior here, saying no matter what happens, I will get things done. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen the way I imagined it. As a matter of fact, most of the time it doesn't happen the way I imagined it. And I get used to that. I just know I just got to keep focused on the game plan. You should have seen what we went through just to get this building. Nothing went as planned. Not one thing. But the vision and the goal and the target was so clear that I always knew which direction to go. Even though sometimes I was walking backwards, blindfolded, in circles. Even when I was spinning in circles, I would catch a glimpse of my goal every time I would go around. Because it's a conditioning process, because I know how to trust myself. I remember when I popped both of my tendons. It devastated the hell out of me. I was scared. I was like, what the heck just happened? I never felt pain like that before. And I've had my arm blown off. And I haven't felt pain like that before. And I was like afraid, like, what the hell did I just do to myself? I'm prone to injury. I'm prone to accidents. My body's, I got so many stitches. I got, you name it, I've had it. I guess I learned the hard way. But when I popped both my tendons, that was a defining moment for me. What did I do? I came back the very next day to hold our sales meeting. Couldn't move my arms. Couldn't even wave hi to people. Carla had to help me take a shower that morning. But it was a defining moment for me. That says nothing's going to happen. I just have to build a thick skin. I just have to build a capacity. Knowing that if I want big things, I have to overcome these obstacles that seem like they're not penetrable. That seems like 15 feet high. How in the heck am I going to climb over this? By figuring it out, right? And sometimes we're looking in the wrong direction, thinking we have to go over the damn obstacle when there's a few steps to the right, you can go around it. And these are the defining moments. So something like this is minor compared to what I've been through already. So I'm supposed to shut down. Now, some things were delayed. I had to delay this mindset mastery. It's okay, but I'm here now. I got rid of the anchor because if I would have said, I'm not doing it at Mindset Mastery this week, it would have slowed me the hell down. Why? Because I have unfinished business. I said I was going to do something and completely just disregarded it because I got injured, because I got in a fight with Carla, because of this, because of that, because I lost the listing. So you just put another anchor, and next thing you know, you don't understand why you're moving so slow. Well, you got like 15 anchors tied to your ankle here, dude. I could have said, I'll just do Mindset Mastery next week. It's no big deal. In the grand scheme of things, really, it probably isn't. But to me it is, because I said I was going to do it. Now I have to check it off my list. Not to feel the shame. I should have done it. Dang it. But instead, acting and taking action on the things that I said. Because if I don't, it becomes this chaos in my mind, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I start create. It's weird, like where my story is going. You may have the same situation, right? Where something goes wrong, and all of a sudden you start like snowballing, and all of a sudden your whole business is going to fall apart, right? And it usually goes that way because your mind is chaotic, because it knows it's out of integrity. You said you were going to do something, and then you did it. You're like, oh my God, like, well, what's going to happen next? And you start feeling guilty and shameful about not doing those things, that you do nothing, and it only starts snowballing even more to a point where you're like, I'm never going to get what I want in life. I'm never going to grow my business to a $15, $20 million business. Well, in a way, you're right. But it's not meant for you to focus on what you're not going to get. It's meant for you to focus on the shit you're not doing. Now do that, and I promise you, that shame, that guilt, all goes away. So you don't have to hang on to that like an anchor, like something you're dragging around on top of everything else that you said you were going to do and didn't. I could have disregarded this. It's no big deal. But I know how it would feel afterwards. So I couldn't get it done yesterday. I just couldn't. Could I have done it from my bed? Maybe. From my chair? Possibly. But I wanted to do it today. So as opposed to feeling that guilt right away, guess what I did yesterday? Hey guys, I'm going to postpone our Mindset Mastery till tomorrow at 9 a.m. Then I focused all my time and energy on my recovery so I can be here at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. And I say, oh yeah, guys, I got injured. None of you guys knew. I got injured. Send me some pity. Feel sorry for me. Give me a pass so I don't have to do this. Because if I tell you what I'm going through, and some of you are so used to telling everyone what you're going through, so they can give you a pass and feel sorry for the results that you don't have. We got to stop that. None of you knew. I just changed it. I'm telling you now because it's part of my little journey. I'm documenting this for the rest of my life. And for my daughters. They're starting to watch my Mindset Mastery. It makes me so happy. From like 3 years ago. So we tell people sometimes those things so they can give us a pass, so they can make us feel better because we're already guilting ourselves for not doing those things. Which is the truth, right? You should have done it. But now that we have a pass, it eases the pain. As opposed to saying, you know what? I want to stop all these anchors. I want to stop all this chaos. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm just going to start getting things done. You start cutting these anchors off. And then you start feeling optimized. I love the way I feel when I'm on my game, when I'm in line with my integrity, when I'm in line with the things that I said I'm going to do. It's like it feels so good. And you got to give yourself an opportunity to feel optimized. The food you're eating may not be the best for you. I discovered that through the 30-day challenge. Now I know how to really move. My body recovers so fast. I know this is going to go away quickly. Imagine if I didn't take care of myself all these years and all these months. This would have been a debilitating blow to me. I would have been resting in bed. And if it would have happened to some of you, you guys would still be in bed right now. And others are like doing the same, or on the same path that I am. And I'm inviting you all. Understand what it feels like to be optimized. Not to be overwhelmed by the anchors of inaction. And that's how we end up losing opportunities, because we were laid out. Our mind was with that argument at home. Our mind is somewhere else, feeling guilty, feeling victimized, feeling like you did everything right, just didn't go your way, feeling sorry for ourselves. That we don't realize that we're looking down. We're in this mindset of pity, and here comes an opportunity. Just kind of going by us. And there's opportunities every day. Every single day there's an opportunity for us to grab. But if you're not optimized, you're too tired, things are not going right at home, you're never going to see them. I used to have this thought process like, how do people move so fast? How are they able to achieve so much? Well, one, I was too caught up in their business. That's another thing too, right? Some of you debilitate yourselves first thing in the morning by comparing yourself to someone else. You have zero chance. That's where I was. I was constantly comparing, looking up numbers for other brokerages, other agents. How are they doing it? Looking at where they live, what they drive. I'm like, how are they doing it? So I was too caught up. I was putting too much energy on them. If anything, my energy was helping them get more. So we don't give ourselves a chance to win. We have to put our best foot forward to feel optimized, so that when things like this happen, when there's an argument at home, when there's an injury, right? When something out of left field kind of knocks you off your feet, when you're sitting on your ass, you're like, okay, all right, now I just have to deal with this. Is there going to be that small moment of frustration? And like I said, out of like, I think I was frustrated. I said I was doing everything right. Oh my God. How many times have we said that, right? I did everything right. I'm doing the best I can. It's just limiting on what we could actually accomplish, because we haven't reached the epitome of what you can create. You haven't reached the epitome of what you're capable of. So when we say statements like that, we're essentially saying, hey, I reached the top. This is it. So all we're doing, and I'm going to briefly touch base on something we're going to discuss this Thursday and Friday. And all of you should have received some type of invitation. If you haven't, you got to reach out to me ASAP to one of the two meetings. But there's a real thing the real threat coming up on the horizon that we all have to be prepared for. And for those of you that have been here for years, you guys are very prepared. And you know, this self-development and realizing that you can make moves faster than most in your industry, faster than most in general, is what's going to propel you forward in some hard times that are coming with inflation. It's a real thing. It's a real threat. And that's something we're going to be discussing this week. And what you don't know is, like, I've been doing the Karate Kid training on you for all these years. You know, the wax on, the wax off, the painting up and the painting down. You don't realize you're building these skill sets to navigate through a challenge that's coming your way. The capacity you've built, you have no idea until it actually gets here, and you're like, oh shit, my life has never been better. And I'm so excited because those of you that are here have leaned into that and have been putting in the reps, putting in the work. And when a real threat comes your way, you're going to realize how skilled you actually are. And I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. But that's all I got. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. I do want to read a comment here. In the Army, we call it catastrophizing. Assume the worst with one situation and snowball it out to a bunch of issues. Pretty soon your day, your week are all thrown off because you can't get out of the mental hole. Yes, and that's exactly what it is. It feels like a hole, right? And the more pity we show ourselves, the more we tell these stories of, we don't understand. It seems like that hole gets darker and deeper. And that's a great way to describe that, the mental hole. Best remedy for this is exactly what you said. Cut those anchors. Understand the issue and stop trying to predict the unknown and control how the end result is. Man, that's beautifully stated. And we all have that control, but most of us just haven't built that capacity because we don't understand what it feels like to be optimized. We're just used to kind of going down this hole. Oh, I got injured or I got sick. Like, I don't understand this either. And maybe I'm just built different, or I just don't allow myself to go down this path. But I know people that get sick where they're rested in bed because that's what they saw their parents do, right? When they would get sick, they would watch their parents lay in bed for a week. And they unknowingly took those same behaviors that anytime they feel a sniffle, anytime they get a fever, they're laid out for a week or 2 weeks. That's not normal. To a healthy human being, to be laid out for a week to 2 weeks every year, multiple times a year, that's not right. And if that's you, you need to fix that because the next generation's watching you. That's not normal. You got to do something else, something different, to optimize your body so you're not laid out, because that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in production. That's costing you this conviction within you to build something greater. That is not normal. If I'm laid out more than one day, there's a huge problem here. But it's things that we're not aware of because it's our normal. This whole process, this whole thing that we do here is just to identify what we consider normal and maybe just ask better questions so that we can change behavior, so we can get what we truly want. Satisfaction, fulfillment, happiness. It's not normal. Me talking to Carla a certain way was not normal, but it was very normal at home as I saw my parents growing up. But that's not the right way to do that. So we got to identify these behaviors. And you got to understand what it feels like to be optimized. And you got to cut these anchors. So thank you for that, Amir. And thank you for everyone for joining us, including Jermaine, Andrea, Michael, Nick, Lorinda. Thank you so much for checking in. Patrick, we're ready. We're ready. And I hope you are too. What's coming, you're going to navigate through it powerfully. And I can't wait. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining for this episode of Mindset Mastery. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.